Welcome to the next episode of the MB2 Underground podcast. I have the great pleasure of introducing a great clinician from Sharpsville, PA, Dr. Domenic Lombardi. Welcome, sir.
Sharpsville, Pennsylvania, the place that most people will never know about, but they do now. Yeah, man. Thanks, Joe. You're too kind.
I really appreciate you being here. Want to learn more about Sharpsville, want to learn more about your business. You've got a unique, really cool special practice doing some awesome clinical work. And this podcast is all about entrepreneurship, leadership. Business economics, right? All the things that you've been doing and have been doing extraordinarily successfully, and obviously you're going to continue to do. And so just our listeners get to learn your story, and like there's so many ways to run a successful business, you know.
Be true to yourself, right?
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's the thing. I work in the area. Our town is a bunch of towns put together as one, basically. So there's Sharpsville, Hermitage, Sharon, Farrell, West Middlesex, Brookfield. It's like there's like a million mascots, you know, from all these different little high schools and stuff like that. But essentially, it's one, one community, right? So I'm from there, and by virtue of being someplace, man, you know everybody.
Yep.
Or I'm related to you, or like whatever, and you have to perform to the highest level because that's your fifth grade teacher, or that's, your uncle's best friend, or like that's like, or whatever. So like since the beginning, I always felt like this weight, like where I have to like get it right, you know?
Absolutely.
And I'll ramble on all day about that because that's the pressure you face when you wake up in the morning,
No, that's super cool. I can't wait. We're going to talk a lot more about it. But first, tell me what it's like to have two under two. What were you thinking, man?
I just pray for my wife.
Well, she's a saint. She must be a saint.
I just pray.
It's not easy.
I'm like, God, thank you for what you've given me. Thank you for this wife who deals with everything. And thank you for letting me go to work for like a little breather every once in a while, But no, it's been fun. Our 9-month-old has decided he doesn't want to really sleep a lot yet.
Word. That's the worst.
From what I've read, that means like there's like some neurons going, like
100%.
like they're kind of excited, have a little zest, a little zeal.
It's a good thing.
What's next, So I get up at nighttime. That's like kind of my offering because she's with him
all day,
and she deserves a little bit of rest. And I snore really badly, and so do our dogs. And so like when she gets up, it's just like. She ain't gonna come back to sleep. She might as well go to the couch or like upstairs or something else because she's running into the saw.
That's special, man. You guys are in the trenches. I've been there. I know what it's
How
like.
many kids you got?
5. But we did the Irish twins thing right away, which was horribly dumb. Number 2 is an accident. He knows it already.
Yeah.
So apologize, Tycho. But yeah, man, we've been there, right? And it's it's a beatdown. But again, running a successful business with 2 under 2, that's awesome. I will tell you, being on sort of the back end of that is, man, close in age that's a great space.
I'm excited.
They're
about
going to become super close.
Might be on the same teams,
right? Exactly.
Whatever it is they want to play and things like that. But.
Do Gus and Tino help out? They babysit?
They just add fuel to the fire. I'll be honest with you. It's a high risk environment in my house, man.
Tell us about Gus and Tino.
So Gus is our older English Mastiff who just turned 5.
How much does he weigh?
He's 185 pounds. And he's the little one.
By frame of reference, I'm about 185, 190, right?
Don't flaunt it, Joe. We know you look good, okay? I'm sitting over here. Beginning of the week, I might have been like 207, 208. Now, you've been feeding me, you've been watering me, you've been putting me in the sun. Now I got to be at least 215.
That's what vacation is for, man.
But I'll always be less than the bigger dog.
There you go.
He's 225.
But I can't even imagine that.
They're good dogs, but it's just the nature of who they are. Like they'll step on you. You have to watch your kids because they get the forearm, shoulder checks. So it's making them tough, no doubt. But
so you've got a beautiful business, a young family, but you're also a golfer, right? And so I'm a newbie. Picked it up about a year ago.
Man.
I'm absolutely hooked. All I want to do is play golf. Don't tell my wife.
She should know by now. Mine knows.
But you've done something that very few golfers have done, very few golfers will ever do, and I need to hear the story of your albatross.
Yeah, double eagle. Yeah, it was.
Can you maybe explain what that is?
So double eagle's making a 2 on a par 5. So very unlikely. You think about a hole in one, like it takes one good shot.
Yeah.
Or one lucky shot or whatever. Double eagle, you got at least hit the drive far enough to where you got a chance,
And in a par 5, you're talking 500 plus yards.
It was 514 yards.
Wow.
Number 14. at Avalon Lakes, Pete Dye Design, so there's a little bit of credibility there. But I was with my dad, and it was early. We were playing before he had to go to work, and it was raining, and it was kind of like, we're gonna quit after this hole. Like this is a mess. And so it blistered my drive, and then I got up there and I actually hit a hybrid. I'm sorry for anybody who doesn't play golf, but this is all Chinese, I know.
But they need to hear this story.
So anyway, I hit a hybrid thin, and it's kind of like a mounded green. And I'm looking behind the green, it's not there. I'm looking short of the green.
You didn't even know when it.
No, I'm pissed. I'm like, how you just can't find your ball. Like it's just like it takes the wind out of your sails. But my dad went and checked the hole.
Unreal.
And there it was. I thought he was lying, and then I went. Sure enough,
That's crazy. Man.
But it was a thrill. Yeah. So I have that, and I have 2 hole-in-ones, and. Yeah, no, those are good. They're not good for the liver when you do things like that, but that's.
Have to celebrate that.
Obviously, we're still talking about it, so it's worth it.
And we'll continue to do so.
We got to play though.
I would love to play.
That would be fun. I'll come to you.
Yeah. Hey, man, ditto. My folks are from South Philly, man, so I'll come up and see the old country.
You might be the nicest guy from Philadelphia I've ever met. You might.
I was from the suburbs, right? When I was young, right?
Not disrespect to Philadelphia.
Dutch Wonderland was my kind of area, okay. Right? The Amish folks.
Yeah. Good energy.
I'll come back see the old country.
Chicken.
So tell me how you became a practice owner. You got a unique story.
Oh man, yeah. I kind of just always knew, like when I was in school, that I wanted to do it my way. And you see when you work for someone else, you're working for someone else, and it's like obviously they're getting a benefit from that you aren't, and you look at the nuts and bolts of it, and I'm like, you know what? Even though it's a risk, and even though I don't have any experience, I was just like, let's go. I can trust people, and so I bought a practice that was small, and
small from a square footage ops perspective.
No, big ops, big building, like 5,000 square foot building included in the deal, right? And
wow.
I knew Dr. McCammett.
How did that opportunity? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was actually going to buy another one. And it was like, the deal was almost done, just like verbal, nothing signed, And then I happened to see Dr. McCammett, who I didn't even know he was a dentist. I just knew he was Dr. McCammett I worked at the country club when I was growing up. And so I was in the steam room. I can't believe I'm telling this story. But I was in the steam room at the club, and I was in my last year of dental school. And he's in there, I'm sitting there, we're on towels or whatever, and another guy comes in.
That's how deals get done.
Yeah, exactly. And another guy comes in, he's like, oh, my 2 favorite dentists. And I was like, I've known him forever. I'm like, you're a dentist? I didn't know that. I just thought he was, And so he's like, you trying to buy my business? And I was like, maybe, let's go check it out. So I went down, and even though there was wallpaper everywhere, and there was like carpet that shouldn't be where carpet is, and old style x-rays, everything, you know what I mean? Like the executive, dental delivery unit with makes sound when things happen. But you walk down this place, and I was like, man,
you could feel it.
It just feels like we could do something here, It's like, and I don't know, it just felt right, You have that feeling in the back, in your heart. And he told me what he wanted for it right there, and I didn't want him to change his mind, so I was like, it's a deal.
Unreal. You knew it was too good. You knew it was
too good of a deal for the building, for the practice, for him to stay on for 2 years. So handshake deal instantly.
Unreal. I think just from observing, right? I think the best entrepreneurs recognize that feeling and then have the courage, right, to take
it's scary. It's always scary, and I think if you're not uncomfortable, you're not really doing anything.
No, that makes total sense.
And what's going to get you going? It's like so we grew. And that growth was just normal. It was like we didn't have a choice really, because it was. I wanted obviously to make an impact, and I came back to my town for a reason, and I wanted to do a good job, and just basing things on morality, and not saying we're giving it away. Obviously, you can't give it away, but just kind of taking that path,
That's awesome. How did you guys grow?
Okay, so every step I think you need to highlight technology as a reason for why you're better. Mm-hmm. You really can't say you're better, but you know what I mean. And people know. So if you can reference that, okay, my scanner, look, in my town, people don't have a scanner. You know what I mean? So I really don't got a lot of So, but if you can highlight, my scanner is accurate to 5 microns, and
wow.
And show them how you're designing that one tooth or a full smile and put it in front of them and say, this is why I'm doing that. Or, it's like, it's a truly custom experience and like it's transparent. It's not just like, okay, here's your temp, see you in a couple weeks.
Trust me.
And then as a dentist, like this gets me to the next step. So I'm milling my own crowns, and at that stage, that was my first step. I got the CEREC and all that. Yeah. And then, I used to have anxiety when I was using a lab, because thing comes back, go put it in. Is this the same person's tooth? And then I'm drilling away at it. I look like a jerk. They're like, how long is this thing gonna last? Because honestly, like, when I'm sitting there sweating, trying to get this thing to go in there, we all know that feeling as dentists, right? Like, we've all been there. And like, so to take that away allows me to look at that patient and say, with confidence, like, it's gonna work and it's gonna fit and it's not gonna be a problem. So then the next step was...
purchasing that CEREC, right? That was another big risk, right?
You spend the money, man. You got to do it. Yeah, and my dad, God bless my dad, he's just like, every time I do something, he gave up on me now. He's like, he's going to do it anyway. So I can't talk him out of it, So it's just how it is, right? So,
but it was a great decision.
Yes.
Because it changed your clinical approach, right?
It did change the way we do business. And, people look at our, I'm not like big on talking numbers and stuff like that, but like... Yeah. What we're doing in our small town, it's proof. Like, if you embrace quality and everything, and you should be fee for service. You don't want to be beholden to what an insurance company says you should pay.
Tell me about that. That's another big risk. It takes a lot of courage.
COVID. I'll get back to what I was talking about with equipment a little bit, but since we're on it, so like during COVID, prior to COVID, I was like participating with a bunch of PPOs and just running, man, just like miserable. You know what I mean? Like, you love what you do, but like when you're seeing like 45 patients a day,
wow,
are you really giving what you can give? It's like wham, 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 see ya, bye. I can't really talk to you. I can't really give you like any kind of personal experience, right?
And you're so good at that, obviously, right?
That's what I love. I like BSing with people. I like honestly seeing what people are about, right? And then anyway, so like I knew that I couldn't do those numbers anymore because COVID, like, everybody's got like, you got to take your temperature, and like we got all these, we're wiping everything down more so, or like 10 times, and we got these like vacuums that are like sucking, stuff up and whatever, So I just knew I couldn't see that volume of patients anymore. Yeah. So I, in my mind, I didn't have a choice, Wow. So I went in our area, it's pretty blue collar, and to go all the way fee for service right away was a tumultuous thing, just because like, people, customers, patients, they get comfortable and and when things change, obviously that leads to some anxiety and well, this has got to come out of my pocket now and this, that, and the other thing. So there were some times where it was like, oh my God, why'd I do that? But it's been the best thing I could ever, because now I can treat my employees better. Yep. My hygienists get an hour to do their cleaning. I get as much time as I want to do things. I'm still crazy busy, but like, at least when you're running like that and you're getting the premium for your service, you can feel better 100% about it and want to do it more. Human beings are human beings, like, and I guess I'm a human being, but like, we're all motivated by, having a reward, right, of whatever that is. So a healthy bottom line, goes a long way.
Absolutely.
In life, of course.
You're the busy you want to be, right? You're the right kind of busy.
Right. Like I remember like seeing reimbursement for like $80 for an extraction. I was like, no.
Unreal,
no. Like no, it's just out of principle. Like, this isn't happening. But no, so back to like the lab equipment, like I could advocate that any practice should be doing their own lab work as far as crown and bridge goes themselves. We just got a lab grade mill. It's a Plan Mecca 60S, and there are so many reasons it's better to have something like that. The design software, when you're the clinician and you can actually like pinpoint and do exactly what you're doing, 'cause like a little bit of bulkiness, man, it's like the eye sees it, or like a little bit of this or a little bit of that is gonna pick it up, and like when you can do it yourself and pick the materials that are the best, I look at what I'm saving on like what I used to have like lab bills $15,000 a month.
Unreal.
And like now in my puck, of milling the best zirconia, that looks like porcelain. It's beautiful. I get 20 crowns, out of $160 puck.
Unreal. It's a no-brainer.
You know what I mean? So like, when you're talking at a bigger business scale too, like, you look at, okay, the mill, the equipment, the software, all that's all capital expense.
Super. Yeah.
So like, it's healthy to invest like that to make that monthly number change. So like, I was talking to Kerry Sharp, and he's like, dude, I've never seen anybody with a lab bill this low. Yeah, I was like, well, everybody should do it, man. Like, I'm like, and I kind of like abuse myself a little bit because I'm the one that's designing it and making it, because I already put a lot on my assistants and stuff like that, and they maintain the machines, they calibrate them, but like, I'm not going to sit there and make them scan it and make them design it, and because then when it comes back and it's not right, I'll have resentment because I care about the result.
100%.
So.
Well, and you're meticulous. I think that it sounds like it's one of the secret sauces of your practice.
And here's the thing: it's my big pet peeve about other dentists sometimes, and we're all tempted to do it, is to try to convince someone that it's nice.
Yep.
If they're convinced someone that it's right, when like they know it's not, it's not, but like as soon as you get away from like good enough and like just get this person out of the door. You know what I mean? Like, and embrace and kind of lock into those nitty gritty details and like accept the fact that like, let's get it right. You know what I mean? And I'll do it again. That's what's nice about making it myself.
Yeah,
I'll do it right now, and it's like,
you got the puck. Yeah.
People appreciate that.
How do you deal with then as a fee-for-service practice? How do you deal with that patient that'll say, "Well, doc, like I can go down the street and like, hey, so and so is gonna give me the same work for half the cost." Like, how do you,
You never want to be aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, I've always like tried to take the passive route, and like be very complimentary to I don't even like talking about other dentists in my area as competition, because like I just don't see it that way. It's like, I know they are, but like I just don't see it that way.
It's a different product, right?
Right. And I find that when they go, they generally come back. Then they learn the hard way. Yeah. And they say it too. They're like, you know what? I thought I was saving money, but I had to get it, get it adjusted, get this, get that, and I had to get a root canal on it afterwards. Like all these things that like add up 100%. That, on paper, oh, they take my insurance, great. You know what I mean? Exactly. But on the same side of it, like a very good friend of mine is him and his wife they just bought a practice in town, and he actually lives right down the street from me, and we play golf together all the time, and like he does like all the PPOs.
Yep.
And so like, I mean, hey man, I'm not for everybody. I get it. Exactly. And that's okay. I don't need to be everything to everybody. Yep. And like I finally accepted that, That's huge. And so like literally when somebody calls and like, who has it, who takes it, I'm like, send them to Tyler, like instantly send them to Tyler, and it's like, because I can feel good about supporting him, and then he'll send me stuff too, if there's a bigger cosmetic case that they're not really, wanting to get involved in, or if there's something where, I don't know, it's like a root canal situation, which I do all my own endo. Except for retreats, because I just, I don't want to get myself down that road. But so he has something where he can trust me to send a patient back to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
General dentist to general dentist, like I'll do the root canal, I'll send them back. If they stay, I'm sorry. Yep. I can't control what people do.
Exactly.
But I'll always be very complimentary to you, and I think we need to be there for each other, whether we're in the same company or not. Like absolutely. Because honestly, dentistry, dealing with the public, man, come on, you got to put on a happy face sometimes. Absolutely. When you don't feel that way, every day,
Speaking of, right, you do some live news coverage. Tell me about that and how that's part of your marketing.
I'll be honest, news is a great tool.
How did you get into it?
It's free advertising, So like I had some friends. I actually have one friend, Caroline, who's now a Houston anchor in Houston. Wow. Caroline Collins. She's look her up. She's great. She was on the local news at the time, and her dad was actually my first boss. When I worked I was a bag boy at the country club, and her dad's a golf pro. And so I just knew Caroline well, and I said, it's just about contacts, man, knowing people, talking, like just, if you ask for something, a lot of time people give it to you, you just gotta ask. So I was like, Caroline, why don't you hook me up with getting on there, you know, and like sending people down. And then once you show your transparency and like that you're not afraid to laugh at yourself and you're not like too uptight, like they'll like ask you to do it again, you know, and so like they got to put something on TV, you know what I mean? And like for some reason when you get on the local news, there's just validity that gives you credibility. It's, you know, the old Italian ladies love seeing me on there, you know what I mean? My grandmother's proud, you know, it's just. It's all good stuff, and people talk about it. Like it's just like
Dr. Lombardi's on the news.
Well, and then we always have something we're highlighting. You know, we're not on there just for.
Yeah.
I was going to swear, but I'm keeping it together. We're, you know, this is a forum. So
this is a family show.
Yeah, family show. No, but you have to talk about something that like is a good story, you know, so like, so we talk about our technology, we talk about, you know, what we're doing for, you know, in COVID, like what we're doing for that, you know, we're talking about, you know, we're growing, we're doing this, we added the new doctor, you know, people just talk about it, you know, so I love the news, and it's instant. I mean, you see, every time I go on the news, I bet you, it's an influx over the period of 2 weeks, it's probably an influx of like 60,000.
Wow.
Yeah, 50, 60,000 of bookings. You know what I mean? Like you just get the people come in, they're excited, they want their treatment plan, they're getting ready to go. You know, so it's
absolutely
it's good stuff.
In a town like Sharpsville, like that validity, the nightly news is like, you know, this is what people rely on.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, I mean, I get up early, I watch the news. Yeah. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, what are they gonna? Yeah. You know, what are they doing? You know, who are they selling now? You know, kind of thing. But
so you've got a super high tech practice. You're doing very advanced dentistry. What technology or maybe like techniques like are you the most excited about? Right?
Well, what I'm most excited about is my associate, Dr. Skinner. I mean,
awesome.
He's brought like so much peace to my life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to look at a denture again. He does all the implants.
Wow.
You know, he does all the extractions. Just a really good surgical skill set.
Yep.
He does a full mouth replacement called 3-on-6 as opposed to all-on-4.
Yep.
So it's 3 bridges on 6 implants. So implant bridge, implant bridge. And what's nice about that, it's not bulky.
Yep.
It's you know, it's a really the closest thing you're going to get to natural feeling teeth.
Interesting.
You know, that aren't yours. So. You know, and that's a labor-intensive surgery that, you know, that's not something I would want to get involved in personally. Like, I like doing what I do, and just having him be able to do that's great. So part of the tech side of that is, okay, you need your CBCT, which a lot of people have. You know, the things people have for the most part, except for my lab grade mill and, you know, design software. But I just tried to, when I was recruiting Dr. Skinner to come, I just tried to explain to him, man, like, I don't care what it costs to get you in a situation where you know you could come to work and you could do whatever you need to do, and like be confident about it, and like not have anxiety about like, oh, do I have what I need, you know, kind of thing. And so I basically just spoiled him, and I just like,
wow.
I said, give me a list of what you want, and it was long. Maybe I shouldn't approach it that way, but you know, it was long, but it's paid off. You know, so
that's cool.
Yeah,
again, taking another risk on something that you believe in, right?
On a person.
Yeah.
You know, and on a process. You know, I told him, I was like, man, you're walking in a place where like people pay, you know, and like they're gonna love you, you know, and like just try. Things we've been doing lately, like I've been incentivizing my office manager to like do more social media stuff.
Yeah.
And the TikToks that are coming out, I should have.
You opened that can of worms, man.
It's bad, man. The things but it shows the personality. Everybody's fun. Yeah. Like our one assistant Heidi is just like, once he just starts laughing and everybody laughs, and you know, it's just like these absurd videos. Have you seen him? You seen him?
I'll have to check them out.
You gotta look at it. Yeah, it's great. It's great. The art of self-deprecation.
I love it. Yeah.
It is key.
It's special. It bonds you to your patients, right?
That's right.
You know,
people want somebody stuck
your
up.
Your doctor, you went through a lot of schooling, right? Extraordinarily intelligent individual. Like, hey, he's just like me. He's, you know.
That's right. I'm just here to mess around, man.
We're just here to have fun.
Try to do a good job. You know, have a few laughs, but
I love it. So, what piece of advice would you give, you know, young dentists? You're still a very young dentist, but like, you know, folks that are coming out, right? And
focus on you know, remembering that there's a person there that has a lot of anxiety. You know, anybody who comes to the dentist has anxiety. Focus on that person and the best you can do, and focus on fixing and not patching. You know, everybody wants the easy fix when they come in, but it's not really an easy fix if it's not going to last you 20 plus years, right? So like holding on to that, making that part of your rhetoric and your dialogue of like, hey, let's fix this, you know, let's get this right for you, you know, so that we don't have to do this again. And at the same time, trusting yourself and knowing you can do it. You're there for a reason, man. You know, you got the hands, and invest in the product. Invest in putting the best. I mean, it's not simple, but like it's true. Like just invest in putting the best product for that person out there, and you know, accept the fact that you're not, like I said, you don't have to be everything for everybody. You know, treat your staff right. Pay them a little more than everybody else gets, you know, gets paid. You know, it's like, because they're going to give it back to you in droves, man. Like people know when you're in their corner. You know, so yeah, that's pretty much.
That's awesome.
If you let me talk for like, you know, I'll keep talking.
We'll talk all day long. I don't know if I can keep up with you again tonight, man. I tried last night.
No. See, this is the thing. I have a bone to pick with this entire organization. Okay, is you know, you're like, oh, let's put him on camera after he's sunburnt. He's been eating 8,000 calories a day.
Drinking.
He's inflamed. He doesn't drink tequila, but here's the president. You know, what am I supposed to? I think this is my job. I'm supposed to drink tequila right now. You know, so but no, I would have preferred an interview earlier in the week. I had a button down I was going to wear.
Hey man, that's a pretty shirt.
That was pulling. So I put the golf shirt on.
The old Italian ladies will still be impressed. That's
right,
It's
man.
all good. It's all good. Well, Dr. Lombardi, absolute blast.
Thanks,
really
brother. I appreciate you, 100%. Man, this was fun.
We'll do it again.
Anything you need.
Awesome. Well, listeners, thank you for joining us for another episode of the MB2 Underground podcast. We will catch you next time.